8C is adding and subtracting radical expressions. The rule for adding and subtracting radical expressions is that the index, I haven't talked about index before, but that's the radical. So in this case it's cube root, that's the index, has to be the same, and the radicand, which is underneath the radical, has to be the same in order for you to add or subtract radical expressions. So the index and the radicand, so it has to be the same radical, and what's underneath the radical has to be the same for you to add or subtract for like terms. So let's get into this. Example 1. 3 square root of 6 minus 4 square root of 6. So we both have square roots. That's good. And what's underneath the square root is the same. The radicand. We have 3 of them. 3 square root of 6, we're subtracting 4. It's going to leave us with a negative 1 square root of 6. Negative 1 times the square root of 6 is a negative square root of 6. So that's your final answer. 2 square root of 6 minus 2 square root of 24. So we both have square roots, but we do not have the same radicand, what's underneath the radical. So we got to look to simplify. Square root of 24 can be simplified. That can be broke down into 2 square root of 6. So we have 2 square root of 6 from the first term. And we have this negative 2 times 2 is negative 4 square root of 6. So now we have 2 square root of 6 minus 4 square root of 6. Square root of 6 underneath both radicals, and both radicals are the same. They're both square roots. So therefore they're like terms. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. Negative 2 square root of 6. Cannot simplify anything, any parts of it anymore. That is your final answer. Next, negative square root of 12 plus 3 square root of 3. Negative square root of 12, that can be simplified. So pretty much with these problems, if you can simplify something, a term right away, do it. So negative square root of 12, that can be simplified into a negative 2 square root of 3 plus 3 square root of 3. So negative 2 square root of 3 plus 3 square root of 3 is 1 square root of 3. 1 times the square root of 3 is just square root of 3. Nothing can be simplified further, so that is your final answer. Example 4. We have the negative square root of 45. I already see I can simplify that. Plus 2 square root of 5 minus square root of 20 minus 2 square root of 6. So right now we have all our square roots, but no like terms. So let's look to simplify. The first term is square root of 45 is 3 square root of 5. I don't like skipping steps here, so if I'm simplifying each term, that's what I do throughout the whole problem. So square root of 20 is 2 square root of 5 minus 2 square root of 6 on the end there. So we still have 4 terms. I haven't combined any like terms yet. So negative 3 square root of 5 is like terms with a negative 2 square root of 5, which is like terms with positive 2 square root of 5. So these will essentially cancel out. And you get a negative 3 square root of 5. And then we have this minus 2 square root of 6 over here. That just comes along. These are not like terms. You have negative 3 square roots of 5, and you're subtracting 2 square roots of 6. They're not the same. They're both square roots, but different radicands. So that is your final answer. Doesn't matter which way you write it. You could write negative 2 square root of 6 in front. Doesn't matter. Next, so looking at variables. You're going to simplify. You're going to do the exact same thing here, except all the variables have to be the same for it to be equal, to be like terms. So looking right away, we have 2x's cube root of 5x squared, and we're adding square root of 5x squared minus 2 cube root of 625x to the fourth minus cube root of 5x squared. So we have cube roots in the first, third, and fourth terms, and just a square root in the second term. So those are not like terms of cube roots and square roots, so we can't do that. So like the second term here and the last term, those are not like terms. What I would do is look to see if I could simplify something right away. So cube root of 5, no. Cube root of x squared, no. So the first term cannot be simplified. Second term, square root of 5, no. Square root of x squared, yes. So x square Square root of 5 stays underneath. Next term, cube root of 625. That can be simplified. That is, 5 will come out of that. 5 to the third is 125. And 625 divided by 125 is 5. So we have 5 comes out. So 2 times 5 is 10. And we have cube root of x to the fourth is x. And then we have a cube root. What's left over? So there's 625 divided by 125. 5x minus cube root of 5 I cannot simplify, and the cube root of x squared I cannot simplify. So let's just bring that along. And now let's see if we have any like terms. So we have cube root. So this is x cube root of 5x squared. This is x cube root of 5x. Not the same. If this was x squared here, then they would be. You could combine them. Cube root of 5x squared, but this is x cube root of 5x squared. So all the variables have to be the same. So there really is there are no like terms here at all. So what I was saying was, if, let's just say, example 6, if I had 2x cube root of 5x squared, and I was subtracting 10x cube root of 5x squared, then they would be like terms. So from up here, from up the last problem, you have x cube root of 5x squared, and you're subtracting an x cube root of 5x squared. So 2 minus 10 is a negative 8x cube root of 5x squared. So that's what you do with variables. Let me know if you have questions, and that's it.